Simon Doull joins us. Let's do it. Let's talk it. Doully, oh mate, I'm just, I'm gutted. I'm disappointed because I feel that whole series was there for the taking. I know it's moments, and I know you can always talk about, well, we didn't capitalise on those moments. But you've played Australia. You know what it's like. Those are the margins, aren't they? They're so fine. And if you go through, and analyse both test matches and batting and bowling performances, I think we could have won both of those tests.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. There were times in both games, particularly in that last game, where we were well and truly in the game. There are times we were behind the game. You get bowled out for 160 and you give yourselves a chance to win a test match still on the fourth day is quite an incredible achievement effort. But we were, I think, well and truly in front of that game at different stages. Not so much in the first test match, but there were moments, opportunities, and like Australia do time and time again, they sort of won those moments and New Zealand lost those moments. And I think that's what it boils down to at the end, I think.
What is it about them? Because we've got to praise them. I've watched so much Australian cricket where you think they're down and out. I mean, even when you go back to the One-Day Cricket World Cup final, so many individual matches where one of their guys will do it. And it was Green in Wellington. It was Mitchell Marsh who got dropped, and obviously Ravindra is going to kick himself forever for that. But he ends up, pulling 80 out. Carey hadn't had a bat. He ends up batting well for them yesterday. What is it about them that every single game it appears one of their guys at least will do something like that?
Yeah, I think the belief in that team, they seem to have a very good outfit in and around Pat Cummins and what Andrew McDonald is sort of doing with that side now. They know that New Zealand will probably falter. That's always been the case. I think with the New Zealand-Australia situation, that's probably the case when I played as well. And, they probably just feel that if they hang in there long enough, New Zealand will falter and they will fall and they'll find a way to get over the top of them. They have that inherent belief that they're good enough, whether they are playing well or not, whether they're in form or not, they still have that inherent belief that they are good enough. And I think that makes a massive difference when you walk into that change room or when you walk out onto the field against an opposition that don't beat you, very rarely ever beat you, and will probably fold if we put them under pressure.
Just listening to that, Justin Marshall said something almost exactly word for word on Monday about when the All Blacks played the Wallabies. How much of that is mental? Because it's so intangible and undefined, but that's what you're saying, isn't it? You're saying it's belief, it's top 2 inches.
Yeah, absolutely, which so much of sport is. Belief in your own ability, belief in the guy at the other end, belief in the fact that if you hang tough, if you hang in there for long enough, they will be the side under pressure. And it's been proven time and time again. It was proven time and time again when I played against Australia. So, it's not a new thing. It is something that has been around for a long, long time. What is it, 2011 since we last beat them in in a test match in 93. I think I played that one when Chill Blaine was batting at the end, maybe with Ken Rutherford, was it? Or something along those lines?
It was Ruds, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, in 93. So, that's how long it has been between drinks. And unfortunately, it's going to have to wait a few more years.
When you mentioned that and, the fact that these matches, these wins are so historic, and it would have been, the first, as you say, in well over a decade, and the first in 30 years at home. It's incredible to me then, listening to what Daryl Mitchell had to say to Smithy and Coney afterwards about saying that this team's not defined by results and outcomes. It's defined by, playing great cricket and the kids want to watch it, all of that kind of stuff. A couple of things here. I absolutely love Daryl Mitchell. I want him to be the New Zealand captain. New Zealand cricket have straitjacketed our players so much that it's almost pre-programmed responses. What I want to hear from Daryl in those situations, and I'm not having a crack at him because I do love this guy, is that I want to hear him saying he's absolutely gutted, he's spewing. We had that and we threw it away. This one's going to take a while to get over. I'm wondering, Simon, because it's easy to heap on him right now when you read those comments. I'm wondering whether that's how he felt inside, but they've just been so bloody PR'd and pre-programmed that it's almost like a preconditioned response. I'm going into bat for him on this.
Yeah, I think he's worried about being honest. And that's sad because I'm with you. I think Daryl Mitchell is a terrific cricketer, a damn good human being. I think he'd make a great captain. And I think he is all about team first. He's all about that silver fern. And he is an absolute champion. And he's been, New Zealand's best batter for the last 3.5 years. And to hear those comments, I don't think that's him.
No, I didn't think so either.
I think you're right. I think that's just media
overtraining.
Overtraining. You're not defined by your results, but you are judged. You are judged on your results. I mean, maybe there's a slight variation in that. You can be defined by the way you play and by the way you approach the game and all those things. But at the end of the day, you are judged on your results. You're judged on winning and losing. So defined and judging might be slightly two different things that he may have felt he was talking about something slightly different, whether they're defined as in whether it's results or not. But I mean, you are judged on your results, and the results were not in New Zealand's favour.
Well, they would have lived forever. These guys would have lived forever amongst all of. We've only won 8 times against the bastards, and so this would have been another team like 2-11 where you go back and go, I know all the guys in that Hobart lineup. I can recite the scores that they got. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I mean, if he comes out, he probably garners so much more respect if he comes out and he says, you know what, we are absolutely filthy. We let one go. We're gutted. We tried everything we could. It just did not work out for us. But gee, this one hurts. This hurts so much. And he gets more respect for saying that. But it's almost like, and again, the media people in behind New Zealand cricket, I've got a lot of time for.
Yeah, I do too. They're good people.
They do a damn good. They do a damn good job. But players have to be allowed to show emotion and express emotion.
Good or bad. Good or bad.
And if they're good or bad. And if they're not, then, you're actually not allowing them to express themselves on the field either. And I think it goes hand in hand. The most expressive players off the park have generally been some of the most expressive players on the park.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of it as well.
Simon Doull, 98 test wickets for New Zealand, spends his whole life swanning around the world being a cricket commentator. Call that a friggin' job. Anyway, Matt Henry, let's talk about this guy. What a beast. His performance in both of those tests, what did he end up with, 18 or 19 wickets or something? And Hagley Park, he absolutely loves that. But every time he had the ball, you kind of felt that he could do something against Australia. To me, he's come alive as one of the premium fast bowlers in the world right now, even if it's just in New Zealand conditions. But to do that against the world test champions.
Yeah, he's come alive, all right. The last 3 years, he's been, if I said Mitchell's been New Zealand's best batter, well, Henry's been New Zealand's best bowler by a stretch in the last 3 years. And in definitely 2 formats of the game, in 50-over cricket and test match cricket. His record was pretty average when we were back. I'm going back to 16, 17.